And for residents in Israel's north, just as we mentioned, this is not just theoretical talk, it's daily life under fire, even with the so-called ceasefire in place at the moment. Joining us now is a resident from the north, living through constant Hezbollah attacks. I'd like to say hello to Josiah Dekanu, resident of Netua in the Israeli north. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So please tell me, what does a typical day look like for you right now as there is this so-called ceasefire with Iran?
Well, there's no ceasefire with Hezbollah, clearly.
That's right.
We thought that the October, I was up here, by the way, I'm 1 mile or about 1.5 kilometers away from the Lebanese border. So we are so close, we hear the rockets actually being launched. We thought that the October 7th war was a conflict or a war, and now we know, and I'm not speaking on behalf of the IDF by any means, but as an on-the-ground observer, now we know that we were extremely restrained in the last conflict. This conflict, there are artillery fires taking place multiple times an hour, helicopters flying overhead. You can hear the stingers. At 5:30 this morning, I was awake and I could hear machine gun fire. We're that close, kind of thing. So the one thing that, the relief that we do have, I was listening to your last guest. He's absolutely correct. The one relief that we do have that we didn't have during the last conflict is with the IDF over there, with them pushing them back. Clearly, they've probably taken out, and I'm not speaking on behalf of official news, but the closest proximity launchers, because in the last conflict, we had maybe 8 seconds to get to a bomb shelter. Now we have 15 seconds.
Which is still so little.
Yeah, but the big relief is the anti-tank missiles. A number of fatalities, casualties were those anti-tank missiles, which require Hezbollah to have line of sight. And so having the IDF engaging on the other side of the line instead of in a defensive mode at least has eliminated that threat from most of us. But that's the day in the life, every day, multiple times to the bomb shelter.
How has this been affecting your family and your own sense of security?
So, during the previous engagement, we were evacuated. Most of us were evacuated. I stayed to help folks out. They're not evacuated now. That means my grandchildren are very, very close to me. They spend most of their time extremely close to a bomb shelter, if not in a bomb shelter. We're sleeping in the bomb shelter for sure. And even trips to the grocery store, you have to know, taking a dog on a walk, you have to know where every single bomb shelter, those portable bomb shelters are in case a siren goes off. So we're greatly impacted by the conflict. I mean, it's every day, it's every moment of the day.
Have you considered leaving the north, or do you feel determined to stay despite the situation?
So, I was asked that before. People ask me, my family ask me, they say, why are you still there? And it's strange how we answer that. The folks of the north are very resilient. If we gave up the north, if we just decided collectively as a country, okay, it's not worth it, let's pull back. We know our neighbors, we know their resolve to wipe us out. If we did that 6 months from now, we would be debating the cost analysis on keeping Akko, and a year from now, Haifa. And so there's a resilience up here that they founded this little yeshuv in the 60s, and they don't intend to give it up. And if we don't stay, we're staying to hold the ground, really.
Now, Netanyahu paid a visit to the north this week. If you could speak directly to him, what would you say?
Well, the negotiations that are taking place in Iran, trying to add a ceasefire with Hezbollah, it's very frustrating for us in the north. There are people in this town, men in this town, that fought this same war in 2006. Now we're at 2026. We're fighting the same war. My sons, I have 3 sons, our sons are fighting this war. If we don't finish this, I don't want my grandchildren to be fighting this same war 20 years from now. I do believe we have friends in Lebanon. I believe they don't want this to continue. We should nurture that. That is not going to be an agreement with Hezbollah. It's going to be an agreement with Lebanon. So I think speaking on behalf of most of the residents of the North, that's our feeling is we're taking this brunt, but let's finish this. You know, we can't have 100,000 rockets just in stockpile ready to fire at us at any given moment.
And now with these diplomatic talks set for tomorrow, do you have hope for change? Do you believe that it's possible?
I agree with your previous guest that it's not likely. You know, Lebanon doesn't currently have the strength to do anything about Hezbollah, but there's some real promising conversations that are taking place. It's got to happen. If Lebanon is talking the same story, then the world's hearing a better story, I think. They're hearing our side of the story too, instead of maybe the rhetoric.
Well, thank you very much, Josiah Dekanu. Thank you very much for speaking to us, and keep safe.
My pleasure. Thank you for having us.